Brothers and sisters, good evening. I hope everybody's doing well and staying blessed. I seen this morning. I seen something about this morning as I was just going through my videos. You know, when you wake up, as you do, you go through what's new, what's going on YouTube. And I seen Nike was actually suing Little Nas. Little Nas, if you don't know, he made that song Old Town Road. Was it last year? About a year and a half ago. Anyway, he came out as being gay or bisexual not long after that. And which, you know, you don't think much of that nowadays anyway. But now he's come out really, whether it's for publicity, which some of it is, but he's straight up satanic. And I'm going to play a video, and I'm doing this to bring awareness, guys, because, excuse me, this is not good. And if we've got kids that are young teenagers or young adults, and they're listening to this stuff, let me just play the video, and I'll comment on it as we go through it, because I really want to bring awareness to this, of what's going on. Anyway, Nike rejected this. I'm going to play the video, guys. And when I comment, I'll make sure I don't touch the mouse, because that messes it up. So I will be very aware of that. Okay, here we go.
Some might say that Lil Naz X thrives on controversy. I got the horses in the back, horse stock is attached, head is matted black, got the boots like the match. The 21-year-old pop star first became a household name with his song Old Town Road, one of the biggest hits of 2019. 1, 3, let's say Old Town Road. 1, 2, 3, Old Town Road. I got the horses.
I actually quite liked the song when it came out and stuff. You know, it has a good beat to it. I enjoyed that song when it came out.
The song, when it first debuted, ignited a conversation about race and who gets to be country. And now, Lil Nas X is making headlines.
I forgot to mention, guys, this is also, along with the Nike situation, this last recent video that he's brought out is, so you can't even say it's subliminal, because it's straight up in your face. Have a look at this.
Again, this time summoned the conservative Christian community in an uproar over his latest song and music video, Montero. I'm not faced, only here to sin. If you've in your garden, you know that you can. Call me by your name. It's these words and these images. Then slides down from heaven to hell on a pole and twerks on Satan that has people glued to their screens. With the
has people glued to their screens, brothers and sisters, you know, and you know that younger generation is the most impressionable. This is why we have to be aware of what our kids and what our kids' friends are watching and who they follow, you know.
Music video gaining over 38 million views in just 3 days on YouTube.
Lil Nas X appeals to Lil Nas X fans, and there are a lot of them. These are people who like what he does, and what he does is as much about the internet and as much about the visuals as it is about the music.
But the racy song and video has some members of the conservative Christian community up in arms. Social media exploding with people reacting over what the song could mean for our souls. How did you first react when you saw that video?
Disgusted at the highest level.
Pastor Mark Burns is an evangelical minister for the Harvest Praise and Worship Center in South Carolina.
He has a constitutional right to do so, to say so, just as we Christians have a constitutional right to practice our faith. Having said that, it is still disgusting to see Lil Nas X acting as though he is having intercourse with Satan on television.
Burns says he became concerned after watching the music video and seeing Lil Nas advertising Satan shoes, modeled after Nike's Air Maxes and costing $1,018, after the Bible verse, Luke 10:18. The shoes allegedly contain a drop of human blood, in addition to traditional satanic imagery like the pentagram. Mischief, the creator of the shoe, reportedly saying they sold out in less than a minute. Do you think Lil Nas X should be canceled?
As long as Lil Nas X is promoting what we consider one of the most damaging images in our culture, which is Satan, and to glorify Satan, if that's his belief system, he has.
And that's what they're doing, guys. They are glorifying Satan. And they're not just doing it like, you know how we used to hear about the in a lot of conspiracy theories, they say, oh, it's subliminally put into our everyday TV that we watch. You've got subliminal messages. This isn't, there's nothing subliminal about this. This is straight out. And then that verse, was it Luke 10:18? It's the one where Satan shall fall from heaven, from the sky, you know. Like, why are you glorifying this? And who are the ones that are going to be following this type of thing and this kind of fashion? You know, these are our younger generation. And you know, when Pastor Murray used to say, you know, it's this last generation is going to be the one that was the third that followed Satan in the first earth age. I mean, look at this, guys. These guys have a platform. They kind of have a obligation to put good out there, and this is what they choose to do.
The right to worship whoever he wants to worship, but we have a right to not buy his product. We have a right to go after the corporations that support him and back him.
Nike is now suing Mischief, saying Nike is in no way connected with this project, and Nike has not and does not approve or authorize the Satan shoes. In a press release, Lil Nas X suggested that the imagery in the music video was intended to address homophobia, saying he was harnessing his sexuality to seduce the devil and strip of his power as an evil force, while dismantling the throne of judgment and punishment that has kept many of us from embracing our true selves.
Sorry, I don't think he was even smart enough to put all that backstory behind it. That's not the reason he did it. He did it because he knows glorifying Satan brings attention, and he did it for the wrong reasons. I don't care what he says. I did, even if he was doing it for that reason. Come on, what kind of you know, example is he? Is he for the, you know, for everyone? He's got a platform. Why is he doing this?
I think there's a better way to communicate that message. There are other ways to do that. You can use love. You can use,
Exactly.
you know, togetherness. Now, I'm against any attack, verbally and physically, against any LGBTQ community member in this country. But there's a better way to communicate.
Lil Nas tweeting his response to the controversy, writing a letter to his 14-year-old self, saying in part, "This will open doors for many other queer people to simply exist."
To me, the potential message to the youth in this video is that you can find strength in being exactly who you are, whoever that is.
Sarah Marshall, co-host of Pop Culture Podcast.
You can find strength in who you think you might be, but, you know, don't bring the whole world into it. And make shoes. And get this, Nike didn't even know about this, apparently. They put the Nike logo on this themselves. Well, they bought the Nike shoes and then, you know, they custom made it how they wanted it.
Podcast called You're Wrong About, which explores major media events from the past. Marshall says that the reaction to Lil Nas's video is just another example of the phenomenon satanic panic.
What actually are satanic panics, and why do we see them happening so often culturally, especially in response to pop music?
But it's always related to the idea that youth culture is becoming too powerful and transgressive, and also that American sexuality is becoming too shameless.
Lil Nas is not the first artist to use religious imagery in his music to push the boundaries. From the Rolling Stones in Sympathy for the Devil, to Madonna in Like a Prayer.
There's just nothing new about this at all. In fact, it's so much.
I don't know if you guys remember, but I grew up when I was about 10, 12, when Madonna first came out. And yeah, that one video, Like a Prayer, it's very, very satanic in the sense that it's against God and very unholy, let's say. I mean, you don't have to be religious or love God to recognize that either. You know, it's just getting worse, in my opinion.
A common trope of rock and roll that we have to conclude that Little Nas X knew exactly what he was doing. He was invoking this heritage.
In a way, by putting out this letter and saying that I am pushing an agenda, does that allow him to control the narrative in a way?
He's conscious of what he's doing, and he's doing it in a particular way. And that means that he is attempting to control the narrative. But it's a big world, it's a big audience, and it's a big narrative.
The thing is, does he know, like, has he looked into Satanism? Does he really even know what he's getting himself into? Like, does he even know Satan is a real entity? Does he realize how dark this can get? I doubt he does.
It's a big responsibility for an artist who, just 2 years ago, was a college dropout, living on his sister's couch in Atlanta, determined to break through in any way possible.
Life was me moving from sibling to sibling house, promoting my music like through Twitter, and barely get any reaction out of anything.
How you feeling, Nas? I first spoke to Lil Nas in 2019, right when Old Town Road was the hottest song in the world, as he was navigating his way from internet anonymity.
You know what I think happened? So that song came out, right? Old Town Road. It was a hit. I mean, who wouldn't love it? It had a very a good beat. Everybody would get into the. It was a song that anybody, any age, any generation could really enjoy. He had already got to where he started out. That was the first I ever heard him. So he started out with a bang. He was already there. And then after that, he came out that he was gay or bisexual. And I think that might have, made a lot of people take a step back. And this is him trying to redeem himself, unfortunately. That's what I think happened anyway.
To superstar.
I got the horses in the back.
Over the course of a few months, I would just putting it into memes and kind of forcing it into the internet in a way.
I got the horses in the back. Horse stock is attached.
Old Town Road eventually went viral on TikTok, climbing Billboard's country music charts to number 19. But less than a week later, the song got the boot.
Exactly. Billy Ray Cyrus was on the song. He was unheard of before that. He already made it big. He already got to where he wanted to be. And then I guess he didn't feel accepted when he came out as gay anyway.
Statement to Rolling Stone, Billboard stated that the track does not embrace enough elements of today's country music to chart in its current version. That decision led to outrage online. Fans tweeting, "Wow, discrimination at its finest." After a remix with country legend Billy Ray Cyrus, the song took off, becoming the #1 song on Billboard's Hot 100 for 19 weeks straight. One thing's clear, as Lil Nas X continues to blur lines between hip-hop and country, internet troll and global star, and now, heaven and hell. He keeps stirring the pot, and whether you like it or not, we're still talking about it.
I think it's a really beautiful video, and it feels like we are being asked to witness and appreciate a sexuality that has not been passed around Twitter.
Did you guys see that? He had these curls and they were sixes. I was just giggling there for a minute because did you see how ugly they made that devil? It's not how he's going to look. Nowhere near it. It's ridiculous.
And shown to everyone in this way before, and that it feels to me like a brilliant maneuver to make something beautiful and inspiring.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for
Beautiful and inspiring.